Hello everyone, this is the 81st lecture of the Semantic SEO course, and we are coming to the end. In this lecture, we will create a topical map together, and we will examine all of the concepts that we coined together, like central entity or core section of the topical map, author section of topical map, central search intent, source context, and many more. So inside this topical map, we will be focusing on the QR codes and the QR code generator, which means that actually we will be a SaaS company, or we will be a technology here. The main problem here is that when we check the search engine result pages overall, we see that actually there is an exact match domain, which means that we will need to implement the exact match domain nature or the methodologies that we published before. If you check the YouTube channel that we have or our website, you will realize that we already published the most extensive research for the exact match domain SEO by explaining why they are working, and you will also need to understand the query semantics overall. But if you leave these theories behind and if we move on to the directly the practices, you will realize that we are using the word creator because it is the synonym of the generator in the context of the QR codes, which means that we will try to use the creator as our brand name, generator as our synonyms or the alternate name for our brand. That's why we'll be using actually this specific context as the source purpose and also the brand identity, and it will be our monetization purpose as well. And then we also try to define the QR codes by writing its actual long version. You should also understand that this topical map is raw, which means that we are not writing our overall context angle, content format, and we are not giving entire macro context overall. We are just giving our main entities and also the attributes that we will be focusing on to connect everything to each other in the context of being a QR code generator as much as possible. So we focus on the types of the QR codes, but you will realize that there are two different classifications here: dynamic QR code, static QR code, and types of the QR code: IQR code, SQRC code, frame QR, or HCC2D code. So you should understand that according to the certain types of aspects and the context, there will be different types of classifications, and we will be getting all of them. That's why the types stay at the middle. You will realize that from time to time we are bolding the phrases. Every bolded part actually represents a different section inside the topical map. In normal conditions, I don't use them, but here for easing the process, I am using them. At the same time, I am keeping the most relevant things to each other in a closer way. For instance, when you look at the QR code algorithm, you will realize that it is closer to the code reader. It is also closer to the scanner because QR code algorithm are directly related to these two. And then if you will realize that QR code payment is connected to Bitcoin QR code generator and QR code for bank account. Once we have the bank account, you will realize that we go for the QR code fraud because it's always about security. And that's why we have the business card at the same time, because fraud is done for business at the same time. That's why we keep these things closer. Once we create transition for purposes of the QR code, from there we go for the Wi-Fi connection sharing, for instance. And one more time, we actually hit to the specific phrase, or let's say predicate the scan, we will start to actually connect them to each other. This is the phrase that I am using here. It's an exact query. That's why I'm using quotation marks for the connector to this Wi-Fi network to increase the overall relevance and differentiating that specific topical map node for further ranking signal consolidation. Then we go for the football and we bolt the marketing because flyers, brochures, and even sometimes social media platforms will be connected to that. Social media platform, it is a hypernym here. Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, they are the hyponyms. We are using lexical relations here based on the query networks and index construction criteria of the search engines. Then we go for the WhatsApp, and one more time we see the phrase scan. Then we actually want to reconsolidate it one more time. That's why we are taking scan to the upper section with a general phrase. Then we open a subsection for it and we make it more detailed, because according to the specific tools that we are using, whether Microsoft PC, iPhone, Android, etc., we will see different types of applications or the query networks possible and related search activities or the query paths. That's why we try to catch all of them by connecting these documents to each other. One more time, we are actually creating this time. So we actually create a QR code generator and scanner together by coding in a custom way, and we also do it with the JavaScript and HTML5 at the same time too. Okay, so it will be a little bit hard to make this voice over without breaking my voice. That's why actually it's a bit hard to breathe, because I fasten the video so that everything can be in a kind of pill size. or byte size. I am trying to achieve that. So I keep the Google review and the Google form closer to each other. Then we go for the URLs because multi-link share is one of the contexts there too. Authenticator and email are connected to each other. That's why we keep them closer. Location and Waze are closer to each other. Restaurant and museums are closer to each other in terms of local businesses, and museums will be connected to exhibits. It's a signal for the outer section of Topical Map at the same time. Then we go for the QR code alternatives. This is the border between the core and the outer section. Not directly, we actually right now at the outer section, I can tell, because all these things will be processed in the context of the QR codes. I put the note of the flow code is a company there because it's a little bit more complicated there. There are nearly two different types of entity types or the identities there. Then we go for the comparisons. We start from the barcode because barcode is the most important one for us. In this context, it will be processed even further. Then we go for the using the QR codes. So until now, we have seen the predicates like scan, test, validate, or generate, create, and some others. And now we are focusing on the using it, and it is important. That's why we will need to repeat it more for actually increasing the overall consolidation and making things more connected to that context so that we can play with the statistical semantics, using, usage, using. We have used it, and we focused on the here a little bit the inventory. It is also important because it will be connected to the barcode one more time in the outer section. Then we have the QR code companies, and again, editing will be connected to, by the way. Then we have the QR code companies. We write them, and we will be adding some others here too. It's important to be an authority for your competitors' brand identity too. If you are able to define your competitors in the Google's own memory, it means that you can manipulate their identity in a way that it will be helping to you. And this is the a little bit black hat section of the semantics. And then we add the Shopify there because they also do that, and it will be helping us for connecting everything to the e-commerce context a little bit. Then from here, we actually go for the business card design with the QR code one more time. This is the second time we mention it, and this is for the design context mainly. Then we actually focus on the PNG and the styling. The object hyperlinking is where actually the outer section directly starts, and how to visit a museum, and the QR code for museums and exhibits will be connected to each other. Inventory storage systems will be connected to barcodes, and at the same time inventory or inventory management with QR codes. And here we actually fix a bit the style of the topical map look. We color it. I am coloring it so that you can actually realize the borders in the topical map a little bit further. And we are checking the sections to see whether we forget something or not. And we change the order or the sections a little bit for increasing, or let's say prioritizing different topics based on topical borders and their closeness to our source context. Then we start to process the barcode, because barcode is the most compared thing to the QR codes at the same time. And types of barcode or barcode for product, let's say traceability in terms of inventory management, it will be processed. Barcode generator will be connected to our route directly as an alternate. Barcode for business card will be connected to. At the same time, we are actually checking which query has been connected to which query in what context, so that we can actually choose the predicates or let's say contextual paths in a proper way. Then we will be asking some origin related questions and essence related questions. Some of these outer section questions, they are for defining the specific entity in a better way. If you're an authority for the definitions, it's the best way for actually promoting your own products or reviewing your products in a better way. These cool questions are for person type of entities in the context of the query and the barcodes. And here I am writing a note. Basically, this is a raw topical map, which means that none of the specific subsections has been processed by writing entire macro context or signaling the content format or the content angle together with the context signals. And if you complete it, or if you want to complete it, you can do it. You can send us your output, then we can interpret it and give you a feedback. Start implementing. Do not get scared. And thank you. In the next one, we will see another topical map example. And let's go.